Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
The Daily Compliance News for June 26, 2025, the Matt Galvin Honored Edition. And we begin with that story from the Financial Times, which in a special report looking at the most innovative in-house lawyers over the past 20 years, the Financial Times named and this week honored Matt Galvin for his work at AB InBev to bring compliance and data analytics into that company's overall calculus. He was the head of global compliance, adding ethics to his role as the company realized the power of his work with data and analytics to affect a more compliant behavior in the workforce. In the world of attorney awards, frankly, it gets no bigger and better than the Financial Times, the FT. It's a huge honor for Matt. Can't say enough about the work he's done. He obviously moved over to the Department of Justice, helped them, and now he's back in private practice helping companies set up generative AI programs and helping with data analytics. So huge shout out to Matt Galvin, and once again, congratulations. In an interesting series of articles, I've cited to one from the Wall Street Journal. They are reports that either BP is trying to acquire Shell or conversely, Shell is trying to acquire BP. And it's confusing because the UK newspapers, the FT and the BBC, say it's BP acquiring Shell. American newspapers are saying it's Shell acquiring BP. So something's in the works and something's in the air. I've also heard some American papers say that the 2 UK companies, well, Shell is not a United Kingdom company. It's called Royal Dutch Shell for a reason. So I wish somebody would get their facts straight, but nevertheless, if these 2 companies merge, it will become the world's biggest energy, oil and gas company. I don't know how you could even begin to think managing it. Both companies have had their challenges over the year. BP had the devastating Macondo blowout and loss of life and loss of property, but they're both operating at a very high level. So we shall see, and we'll continue to see who is buying who is domiciled where, and everything else. In a very interesting ruling for AI, a U.S. judge has ruled that books used to train artificial intelligence software do not violate U.S. copyright law. It's called that is transformative and allowed under U.S. law. It's different if the book is being repackaged in some way. That would be theft of intellectual property. But this is a huge ruling for generative AI, Anthropic, OpenAI, and all of the other models. The Anthropic does have to stand trial over its use of pirated copies to build out its library of materials, because that would seem to me clearly is theft. But huge ruling for AI. And our final story is the Trump Department of Justice has sunk to a new low as they've now sued the entire federal judiciary in Maryland to throw them off cases. Doesn't get any better than that, folks. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.